Public Works and this, I still think we have to be thinking longer term and not just putting a stop to this facility and say, only think about Public Works. We have to be looking at our long-term plan, because even if we do something, it doesn't mean we shouldn't be planning for what does this look like? What is the cost of doing this building too? So I think we should be doing a full campus plan on how do we see our campus progressing, just like I think George, you said, what is your 5-year plan? Or I think it was you, Mike. So I do think we need to figure that out, because even though we're saying these things need to be done, nobody's saying they're going to get done this year. It is about putting together the plan.
Right.
And
that's
how we're going to
exactly
spend
like
those, so we can start budgeting the funds appropriately.
Exactly, and we had sort of had a plan, put it on hold to see what you guys felt, so that we can shift gears and kind of head down a different path. So.
Question with the bays. I know in walking it, these two bays are kind of joined together, where this one over here is separated off with a wall. Do we put a third bay out there so we can utilize maybe the space on these two bays for future office space or expansion into? This one here is pretty tall and seems like it's a little bit deeper than the one here, that you could put a storage mezzanine up high, still have space underneath for the lawn equipment, still have a mezzanine up high for storage of materials. It's another option. I mean,
right.
There's always so many other ways you can break up a space. So I mean, we can put together a number to come out, we'll measure this whole existing building, and we can give you, say, we can put together a price, okay, for this price we can put together 3 scenarios for this. This is the basic one, keeping the original, just the 2 bays. Here's one, get rid of the 2 bays there and just keeping this one. Do you want something broken out that way then, or I guess once you talk, you want to just let me know?
Why don't we schedule a meeting with you, and so you can talk to Steve about kind of the details of his needs, and then we can go from there. Is the expectation that we'll essentially just keep the same meeting room? Is that the thinking here?
That's what I would think. I would think.
And if that's the case, then I think a much less expensive project is putting the proper camera equipment in, so that we can do more Zoom type meetings from here, that people could just do them from home, and we would have less demand in the facility.
I think so.
Yeah, on that, Lisa, you don't really need to get cameras. All you need is a couple laptops or tablets.
Oh yeah, they all,
I mean,
whatever our
that's it.
solution is.
I mean, you're talking like maybe for the whole thing, you have to learn how to do the Zoom meetings.
Yeah.
But the whole thing, you like talking maybe $1,000.
Yeah.
Well, we've done Zoom meetings with presentations to projects we've done down in Miami, and it was so nice, instead of having to take a plane down for a 3-hour meeting and fly back the next morning to do my Zoom and then just shut my laptop. I'm like, I'm already in my dining room. This is great.
No, I'm all for people being able to sign on from home. And you don't need to see, technically you don't really need to see people if you're just listening, and we can present materials.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
You okay for now with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
great.
keep me posted.
Great.
Be in touch.
No, I think we're fine for now. We'll just have him get you guys some cost estimates for your February meeting. Okay?
Okay.
Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming out. Appreciate it.
All right. So next up is our township roads overview discussion with Mr. Heller.
So, this is just a long process, and with all, I'm not gonna go over each one of the roads, but I'll give you an overview of the roads. But the biggest project that we want to tackle this year is Faust.
Let's step back for a second. So, can you just kind of give an overview? How many miles of roads do you have? Which roads are not our responsibility? So which roads are county roads and which roads are state roads? Just so everybody understands kind of how that fits into the big picture for roads.
Okay.
All right.
We have 14 miles of township road that Public Works maintain. The roads that we do not maintain, and we only do a winter agreement, which is plowing and salting the roads, are your Route 73, Knifeburg Road, Fegleysville Road, Route 29, Little Road. They are the state roads that we just plow. We don't maintain them. And then,
Can I just confirm that was
Sure.
Big Road, Knifer, Fagleysville, Little, and 29?
yes.
It's not Perkiomenville?
Yeah, what about?
Perkiomenville is a state road, yes. I'm
That's a
sorry.
state road.
Yeah.
Okay, so all of those are.
I also have
considered state road?
papers that are, anybody in the public that needs, they can just come to the office and you can get a paper and it'll show you all of our township roads, it'll show our county roads, private roads, things like that. So it's Perkiomenville, Route 73, Fagleysville, Knifer,
Mhm.
Little,
And 29.
and 29.
Yep, you didn't say that, okay. So those are roads that we don't maintain, but we plow.
We just have a winter maintenance agreement with them, so we just.
For all of those roads? Not for all of those roads.
That's a county road.
What's a county road?
Snyder.
Snyder? Oh.
So Perkiomenville is the only road that is not on the winter maintenance.
Okay.
And then you get into county roads, which we don't plow or maintain, but they are in our township.
What are our county roads?
That would be Snyder, Deep Creek, and there's actually two parts of Deep Creek. I should also let you know there. If you go down Perkiomenville Road, you got Deep Creek to your right, and then you got Deep Creek to your
To your
left.
left heading into the park.
Yeah, so
Okay.
from Perkiomenville, Deep Creek to your left, that's all county. That goes past Snyder, heads out through.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's part of state will be on your right that takes you out to 29 between Perkiomenville.
That's a state road?
That's a
That
state,
section?
that little
Oh.
section. It gets very confusing. That's why there, you need.
But I think
paper.
it's helpful to go over it because, you know, when you guys are saying Fagleysville's in bad shape, or, you know, it's not something we can
Yeah.
necessarily have them do. They will plow it, salt it, but they can't repair it, things like that.
Okay, yeah,
And
that's
then
helpful.
maybe just mention Township Line Road, that
Well, that'll
agreement.
come after. Township Line Road is in our township as well as New Hanover Township. She's right down the county, so we'll get into that. We'll do county first. I'll tell you county roads so you can write them down. County roads are Deep Creek, Snyder,
Yep.
Green Lane Road, and that'll be it.
That's it?
That's it.
Oh, okay.
What is BoS Road? Is it BoS or
And
BASE?
that's a private road. It's off of Becker,
Yeah,
Boss.
that's a private road.
And then,
Township line is maintained by New Hanover Township in agreements that we take care of and maintain Fisher Lane, which is off of Deep Creek,
but it's a New Hanover Township Road.
part of it.
Oh. Okay.
There was an agreement back, I don't know how long ago it was, there was, I don't know how many years.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
No, that's helpful. So the 14 miles include those roads too, or no?
No,
So you maintain 14
14
miles
miles
of roads,
that are
which does
our-
not include the ones you just listed.
yeah.
Got it.
And then you got HOA roads, which is over in Ivy Lane, you got all that, you got Brookfield and Crossing.
Crossing, yeah,
You got private
okay.
roads there, and then you got a few other roads that are in our township that are private lanes.
Private,
Yeah.
okay.
Like I said, there's a sheet with all that on there.
So per crossing, Ivy Ridge, they all do their own roads.
Ivy Lane, we take care of, and Buck Road, we take care of, but that's it, nothing else this side.
Just the main thoroughfares, I guess.
Correct,
And we take care of all of Clover Lane?
yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay. So, I think Steve updated, we have a road project list where we try to project out over the next several years kind of what roads we anticipate will need work of our 14 miles of roads. So For 2024, we have currently proposed upgrades to the remainder of Faust Road. So there's the section from Little to Salford Station, and then the section from Big Road down to Scioto Creek. So those are currently in our 2024 budget, and the estimate for those three sections is $524,000. Did you want to talk about those sections? Why those are your priority for 2024?
Well, if anybody's driven on Faust Road, you know why it's pretty, it's crumbling and falling apart, especially between Little and Salford Station Road. It was an oil chip road that is just disintegrating, and water is playing a factor down at the lower end as well. From the entrance of Buck Road, Perkins Crossing down to Salford Station.
I do feel like I noticed new little potholes
Well, that's one time
forming
too.
this week,
Yeah. that
just this week.
Just after the recent snow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that due to that freezing you guys were talking about?
Okay.
So the priority would be Faust for this year. There is a section that was brought to the attention, Gottschalk, at the intersection of Perkiomenville and Gottschalk, where there's an underground spring right there, it keeps forming and coming up. Which in the wintertime becomes an icing hazard there, you know, we gotta go out and keep maintaining that as well. So I don't have just a cost estimate for that intersection, but
Because that's new. It's a new,
Well, we
it's
could,
bubbled to the surface, because I know you just have question marks in the yellow box here at
yeah, that's
Gottschalk,
question
yeah.
marks just for if we were gonna,
do it in 2024
Yeah.
or 2025. Right, and so we did get a rough cost estimate from the engineer for, I think, all of Gottschalk, from Squeezeford to Perkiomenville, and that was $190,000 to do the intersection plus the stretch.
the intersection becomes a little tricky because you would also have to get with the state, because it joins a state road, and where you would have to take the water out to with the under drains is going to have to dissipate it out on our state road, which means they gotta get involved. So that costs, you know, with permits and the visiting with their engineers as well, the state.
So Gottschalk, the intersection Steve has mentioned is a pretty high priority for him, but it's not in our 2024 budget. Just because at the end of the day, the supervisors decided to focus on Faust and try to push out Gottschalk. You know, if the board wants to shift some priorities in 2024, we can certainly do that. You know, we're sort of open to discussion and questions, you can answer questions. But, you know, this is another one of those things, you know, we kind of need some direction relatively quickly, because we like to get out to bid as soon as possible in the year, because the longer we wait, the more competition we have with other municipalities and the prices go up. Typically what we do is we pay for the asphalt separate from the contracts we go out for, so that we can kind of bring down the price as much as possible, because we can, you know, we don't have to pay the markup for a contractor to go get the asphalt. So that's one thing we've done. This past year, in an effort to try to save money on the segment of Faust Road that was completed, we bought the pipe for the drainage project ourselves, so that we were able to get a government rate instead of paying the markup on it to the contractor. And that saved us a pretty substantial amount of money on the project. Because we had gone out for that section of Faust Road the previous year, and the cost estimate came in so high above what we had budgeted, we had to just put it off for a year. So, you know, we'll certainly look at ways that we can try to save money on these projects as best we can.
So
But-
Gottschalk, on your report, Steve says it's in fair condition. Is it
It's fair.
fading quickly, like that you feel like it should be
No,
done in
just that
24,
intersection, well, if you go down Gottschalk
We haven't been on
is,
that in a long time.
there's certain areas where you feel like it's a one-lane road, it's
Mm-hmm.
just very tight. As for the road surface itself, it's not fading, failing. It is more down at the intersection where it's my issue, is where that underground spring is. That's more of an issue.
And what's
And-
happening with the underground spring?
It's just constantly, with all the rain and everything, it's just constantly bubbling out, it comes up, it's gonna pop.
It undermines the road.
Yeah.
So you're worried about the condition of the road at the intersection?
See, we
starting
paved
to
it,
fail?
Yes.
we just scratched, paved it with Lower Frederick, because we work with Lower Frederick,
Mhm.
and they bring their paver up, so we milled out the area and we paved over that, just to try to get it past this.
Mhm.
It's constantly blowing out holes, putting, cold patch in there, it's just not the right way to fix it.
Do you think it can wait till 25, another year? I know nothing about road fixing, so I can tell
think
you.
it can, it's just, we
It's
did
a lot,
patch
it's a
it.
lot of work on your
Yeah.
guys'
And-
part to keep it maintained.
Can you fix the intersection without fixing the rest, or it just makes most sense to do it because it's cost effective if you just do the project
Yeah, it
all
just
at one
makes-
time?
just
So
makes
you're not
sense to
stopping
do
and
the whole
starting,
project.
and it makes more sense. Okay.
You don't want to patch jobs,
Yeah.
it's just not the way, I had a patch, that's why Faust isn't done, the way Faust is done, it's a patch job because I had to get that done. It was undermined, it was coming out through this fields there, it was blowing out underneath there, it was coming down to one lane, it kept on washing away underneath, and we just had to keep on chucking floors in there, beating it in, backing it. It's not the way you want to fix it. You want to balance it back.
So one option that was discussed last year during the budget process was the segment of Faust Road from Big Road to Scioto Creek is pretty close in cost to the Gottschalk project. So there had been discussion about the possibility of swapping those two segments out. But I think, Steve, you had suggested maybe sticking with the Faust over Gottschalk. Is that still the case, or?
Well, yeah, Faust is a highly traveled road in the township. You don't want to piece it. Just give it time to it. This is my thoughts.
I agree with that, not because I live there, but because Perk Crossing's there.
It's just a main
It's unbelievable.
road
Yeah,
travel.
yeah.
Yeah, no. It's only $10,000 difference between the two, 180 and 190. What is the budget for 2024 roads?
So we put in there 524,000, so the cost of the three
Oh, you
segments.
put in the budget,
Yeah.
the one proposal
The-
amount for all of Faust.
Correct, yeah, the combined
That's
total
what's in
for
the budget is 524.
Correct.
So if you switch out, oh, you wouldn't switch anything out, you're just saying, we'll try to delay Gottschalk till 25.
Right. But it had been discussed, the possibility, if Gottschalk was deteriorating quickly, to maybe swap out that one segment of Faust for Gottschalk.
So should you do the other Faust project first?
Just do Faust.
Ju-
Yeah.
Well, do the Faust to Salford State, the south end, is that south or north end?
Little to Salford Station.
Little to Salford Station, do that first, so you can monitor Gottschalk and see if you need to switch the other, because the 180 I thought was the
Yeah, that's the 73 to
73
Right.
Scioto. Does that make sense? I mean, I
I
know
feel,
you
I
want,
feel that Gottschalk could wait another year and just complete Faust.
Confident.
Yeah.
All three
Okay.
segments.
Yeah, just do, just, you're done with that road. Step back, go to your next project.
hey,
Now,
remember you say that,
Yep.
if Gottschalk fails in
that's all right.
September.
that's okay. I'll take the phone calls. But every year, even though this is a long, projections, every spring we go out and we have to analyze the roads again. So if I have something for 25, it might not be 25, it might have to be the road that went to 26, but 25. It just kind of depends on how things roll.
Well, I saw the only other road you had as poor condition was Kaiser, which I know, Tracy, you told me there's very few people, it's a low.
It's a low
It's a
traffic.
Low traffic
road.
road, because that was pushed out to 27, so
Yeah,
you think
that's
even
just
with
a-
it being in
that's-
poor
that's-
condition, it's good to wait another 3 years?
Well, it's not good to wait another
Not-
3 years,
It's-
but.
But it's a possibility to get these other ones. I would say that you're 25, if we can find out what our cost would be for Gottschalk, you also have to look at Heimbach now. From the bridge up to Little Road.
So you do have to think about
Okay.
how
Bottom
many
section there where the
people
big
are
fields on the
traveling
left-hand
on these
side.
roads.
Right, oh,
right?
no, yeah.
And what that's.
And
bad
so
shape there.
on Kaiser,
They didn't do it
the,
right
the
way.
biggest impact on Kaiser was the milk trucks going to,
Which are no longer.
which are no longer gonna be going there, we believe. So that's kind of reduced the wear and tear on that
Mhm.
section of Kaiser. And I think we only have, what, 3 driveways on that road?
Anybody here from Kaiser?
There's like, 3 or 4. Yep.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's a cut-through, people use it as a cut-through
Mhm.
to get over to Fagley'sville. But in terms of, serving a lot of residents, it's not high, it's not a high-use road like Faust, we
Right.
have 25% of our population lives on Faust, right? So it gets used a lot. So those are some of the factors that Steve has to take into account. And, each year, the roads might change, right? They might deteriorate faster than he anticipated, and so then we have to kind of shift things around.
Is the
Money
budget
that we
for
have.
24 or 524,000, is that in the normal range what we spend
It's
here,
high.
or this is really high?
It's high, yeah. That's a high amount that we have in there.
I'll be back.
And the thought with that was to try to get Faust done.
Okay.
Instead of, doing piecemeal, really just try to get it done, because it's such a high-use road. And I think, Steve, you said you have, 8 roads left?
Yeah.
That require substantial work, just based on past, how they were maintained in the past, the chip and seal, instead of like actually reconstructing them properly and doing it right so that they would last long-term. So Steve's been trying to focus on that as far as, doing the roads right, but it's more expensive.
Right.
And then we have to protect them.
Yeah, the roads been neglected for so many years, and now you're playing this catch-up game. Either they weren't designed the right way, or whatever it is, they just never really did much. So now you're paying a higher cost because
You're doing it the right way.
Yeah, so it's an investment. And I will say that, each year we get maybe $120,000 a year from liquid fuels funds from the state for our roads, which obviously is nowhere near what we need. So
Right.
a good chunk of our general fund has to be used for roads. We do have a reserve, a healthy reserve, and, so, the thinking with dedicating so much money this year to Faust is that we can use some of our reserves to get this project done. Now, if you guys think differently, like I said, we need to know so we can kind of pivot and change our plans.
It makes sense to me, you better fix it before it gets worse.
And you're
Right?
at the
Because once
point
it
where
gets